is your greatest weapon in the waiting. It is not just a soft feeling or a passive hope. It is a fierce, deliberate stand. When everything around you shakes, when circumstances whisper that nothing is changing, when delay stretches longer than you ever imagined, trust is the ground you plant your feet on and refuse to surrender. The truth is, anyone can trust when the miracle has already come. Anyone can smile when the doors swing wide open and the victory is visible. But the person who can stand tall while the winds howl and the walls remain unbroken, that person carries a kind of strength this world cannot explain. Understand this, trust is not weakness, it is not blind naivety, it is not ignoring reality. Trust is power. It is the quiet confidence that even when I do not see the full picture, I know the one who holds the brush. It is knowing that the author of my story has not laid down the pen, and the next chapter carries the breakthrough I've been waiting for. It's the strategic decision to focus not on the storm, but on the one who commands the wind. So many people fall in the waiting because they mistake delay for defeat. They believe the silence of God is his absence, but heaven's silence does not mean heaven is empty. The delay is often the stage where God does his deepest work, not only in your circumstances, but in you. Trust is what keeps you from throwing away your confidence in the midnight hour. Trust says, I may not see it, but I know it's working. And this trust is not static. It shapes how you walk, how you speak, how you lead others. When you carry trust, you move through the waiting season with authority, not anxiety. You don't apologize for your expectations, you lean into them. You don't shrink in the face of obstacles. You square your shoulders and face them head on, knowing they are merely temporary roadblocks, not the end of the road. You become someone who others look to because trust has given you a steady spirit in a shaking world. Let's be honest, the alternative to trust is fear. And fear will drain you dry. Fear will have you pacing the floor at night, questioning every promise, replaying every failure, doubting every word God has spoken over you. Fear weakens your voice, your resolve, your joy. But trust strengthens your spine. Trust puts steel in your heart and calm in your mind. It reminds you who you are and whose you are. And here's the beautiful part. Trust is contagious. When you walk in trust, you give permission to others to rise above their circumstances. You set the tone in your family, in your circle, in your community. People will look at you and wonder how you still carry peace, why you still carry joy when others have already given up. They will want to know the source of your confidence. And that is when your trust becomes a testimony. So today I challenge you, trust like someone who knows the miracle is near. Trust like someone who understands that God's hand is not wavered. Trust like someone who is already preparing for the doors to swing open, because that kind of trust does not go unnoticed. It moves heaven, it shakes the earth, it draws breakthrough closer, and when the miracle arrives, you will walk into it not surprised, not panicked, but ready, because you trusted all along. Absolutely. Here's an expanded version combining Keynote 2, praise turns delay into preparation, and Keynote 3, timing is God's strategy, not our obstacle, into about 600 words written in a confident, persuasive, Dreck Prince style voice. Praise is not just a reaction to victory, it is a weapon in the waiting. When you praise God before the miracle, you are making a bold declaration that your faith is not tied to your circumstances. You are saying, I trust you here and now, even when I don't yet see the breakthrough. Praise in the waiting is the ultimate preparation because it shifts your focus from what's missing to who God is. It recalibrates your heart, clears the noise of fear, and strengthens you for what's ahead. Too often, people wait for everything to line up perfectly before they lift their hands in gratitude. But the one who learns to praise during the delay is the one who will be ready when the doors finally open. Praise confuses the enemy. It sends a clear signal that you will not be moved by discouragement, that you will not collapse under delay. It breaks the power of anxiety and reminds your own heart of God's goodness. In fact, praise transforms the delay itself into preparation. Instead of sitting in frustration, you are standing in expectation. You are building the kind of resilience and character that can carry the weight of the miracle when it comes. Victory received without preparation can crush you, but praise ensures that when the blessing arrives, you are strong enough to carry it with grace. But here's the truth many miss. Delay is not denial, and God's timing is not our enemy, it's His strategy. We are so quick to see a closed door as failure, a postponed answer as rejection. But what we call a delay, God often calls alignment. He is setting the stage, moving pieces into place, developing relationships, opening unseen pathways. He is preparing not just the blessing, but also preparing you to handle the blessing. Timing matters because a blessing given too early can be wasted, misunderstood, or even turned into a burden. But a blessing given in God's perfect time, that is a breakthrough that leaves no sorrow with it. When you understand this, you stop fighting the clock and start flowing with God's rhythm. You stop asking, why is this taking so long? And start asking, what are you preparing me for? You move from impatience to anticipation. You become watchful, alert, discerning. You start to see the delay as part of the miracle itself, not as wasted time, but as strategic time. And in that space, praise becomes your language, your discipline, your daily practice. Praise shapes how you endure the waiting and how you step into the fulfillment. Well, we all want fast answers, immediate solutions, instant results. But God is not a vending machine, and miracles are not delivered on demand. They are released in the fullness of time, when the conditions are right, when the hearts are ready, when the story will carry the greatest impact. And sometimes that timing doesn't make sense to us, but it doesn't have to. Our role is not to control the schedule. Our role is to stay in position, to praise through the process, to trust that the one who sees the end from the beginning knows exactly when to act. So today, make a decision to praise in the pause. Make a choice to surrender to God's timing, knowing that His delay is often His mercy, His protection, His preparation. Refuse to let impatience rob you of the joy of the journey. Stand firm, lift your voice, and declare that God is good now, not just when the miracle comes, but right here in the waiting. Because when you praise and trust His timing, you are not just enduring the delay, you are preparing for the breakthrough with strength, with wisdom, and with a heart ready to carry the victory well. Ease and expanded version, combining Keynote 4. Breakthrough requires alignment, not just desire. Keynote 5. Speak victory even when you see defeat. And Keynote 6. Receive, don't resist when the breakthrough comes. Into about 600 words, written in a confident, bold, dreck print style voice. Many people cry out for breakthrough, but few prepare themselves to carry it. Desire alone will not unlock the doors you are praying to walk through. Alignment does. Alignment with God's principles, alignment with His word, alignment in your character and motives. Breakthrough is not just about what you want. It's about whether you are positioned to steward the blessing when it comes. This is where many falter. They chase after the miracle, but they refuse to examine their own hearts. Are you living with integrity? Are you treating people with honor? Are your priorities in order? Are you seeking God for who He is or only for what He can give? A heart in alignment is a heart that can be trusted with increase. Without alignment, a breakthrough can become a burden. But when you are aligned, you're not just waiting passively. You're getting ready actively. You're preparing your house for the rain you believe is coming. But preparation isn't only internal, it's spoken. There is power in your words, power in what you declare over your own life. Even when you stand surrounded by defeat, you must speak victory. You must declare what God has promised, even when everything around you seems to contradict it. Your words are like seeds planted in the soil of your future. Speak faith, speak healing, speak provision. Speak reconciliation. Refuse to let your mouth become an instrument of fear or complaint. Leaders, real leaders, shift atmospheres not by describing the size of the problem, but by proclaiming the greatness of God in the face of that problem. You set the tone in your own life, in your family, and among those watching you. When you speak victory, you are not ignoring reality. You are reminding yourself and the world that your reality is subject to God's authority. And when the breakthrough finally arrives, and hear me, it will, you must be ready to receive it without hesitation. Here's where many get caught. They are so conditioned to waiting, so used to scarcity, so guarded against disappointment that when the door swings wide open, they freeze. They hesitate, they overthink, they wonder if they're worthy, if they can handle it, if it's really for them. But God doesn't open doors halfway. When He moves fully. Your job is not to shrink back in false humility or second-guess His blessing. Your job is to step into the breakthrough with confidence, to walk through the door He has opened and to carry that victory boldly, knowing it is not just for your benefit, but for the lives you will touch. Breakthrough is not the end of the story, it's the beginning of a new assignment, a new level of influence, a new opportunity to glorify God. So check your alignment, examine your words, and prepare your heart to receive. Desire without alignment leads to frustration. Faith without declaration leads to silence. And blessing without readiness leads to collapse. But when your heart is aligned, your mouth is filled with faith, and your hands are open to receive, you become a vessel through which God can move powerfully. You are not waiting as a victim. You are waiting as a leader, as a person of influence, as someone who understands that breakthrough is near and you will be ready when it comes. Walk in that expectation, speak from that confidence, and when the miracle arrives, embrace it fully, knowing you were prepared all along. Absolutely. Here's an expanded version combining all four keynotes, trust, praise, timing, alignment, into about 600 words, keeping a confident, poised, dreck print-style voice. There is a truth we must anchor deep in our hearts. Trust is not a passive feeling. It is an active choice, a decision to stand firm when everything around us seems uncertain. Trust says, I believe in God's promise, even when I can't yet see the outcome. It's easy to trust when the doors open and prayers are answered, but real trust is proven in the waiting, in the wilderness, in the moments when delay stretches longer than we ever expected. It is in those seasons that trust becomes your greatest weapon. You do not collapse under the weight of uncertainty, you rise under it. With the quiet confidence that the author of your story is still writing and that His plans are good. But trust alone is not silent. It moves us to praise. And praise in the waiting is not ordinary. It's radical. It flips the atmosphere of your life from frustration to preparation. Praise is the declaration that says, I will not wait to see victory before I celebrate it. I will celebrate because I know it's already set in motion. Praise strengthens the heart, confuses the enemy, and reminds your own soul that God is still on the throne. Many people wait to praise after the miracle comes, but the wise and prepared know that praise is what shapes them for the breakthrough. It is what keeps their spirit aligned with heaven's perspective. Praise in the delay isn't wasted breath. It's the very thing that forges strength, resilience, and hope in your heart. And here's what separates the frustrated from the victorious: understanding God's timing. Timing is not your obstacle, it's God's strategy. We often feel that if something hasn't happened yet, it won't happen at all. But God's delay is not God's denial. He operates on a timetable we cannot always see, orchestrating details, preparing people, opening doors and closing others to protect us. When you shift from impatience to anticipation, from why is this taking so long, to God, what are you preparing me for, you change the posture of your heart. You stop striving, you start watching, and you live with open hands ready for when the moment comes. God's timing ensures that your blessing arrives not only when you want it, but when you can carry it with strength, maturity, and wisdom. But even with trust, praise, and patience, there's one more truth we can't ignore. Breakthrough doesn't come to those who only desire it, it comes to those who are aligned for it. Alignment means examining your heart, your priorities, your relationships, and your obedience. Are you positioned for the very thing you are asking God to release? Desire alone will not unlock heaven's doors. Alignment with God's principles, His timing, and His ways prepares you to walk into the breakthrough fully ready, without scrambling or second-guessing. It means asking yourself hard questions. Are you living with integrity? Are you walking in love? Are you seeking His face or only His hand? When you are aligned, the moment breakthrough arrives, you can step into it with confidence, knowing you are not only ready to receive, but ready to carry it well. So here is the call. Trust deeply, praise boldly, wait patiently, and align carefully. Do not be content with shallow faith or empty words. Live like someone who believes their miracle is near, like someone who understands that heaven is already moving on their behalf. Because when the doors swing wide, when the breakthrough arrives, it will not catch you off guard. It will find you ready, prepared, and positioned to step into the fullness of what God has prepared for you. And that, my friend, is how you live as a person marked for breakthrough. Certainly. Here's an expanded version combining all 5 keynotes: trust, praise, timing, alignment, and speaking victory into 600 words, maintaining the confident and persuasive tone with a focus on strength, preparation, and victory. We get impatient. We wonder why the miracle hasn't arrived yet, why things aren't moving as quickly as we would like. Here's the key. God's timing is His strategy. What looks like a delay to us is often God's way of ensuring that we're fully prepared to handle the breakthrough when it arrives. God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't align with our own. He is not unaware of your longing or your prayer. In fact, He is orchestrating the details, ensuring that when the breakthrough comes, it's not just a victory, it's a victory you're equipped to carry. Timing is about aligning everything in your life to the right moment, to the fullness of what God has for you. The longer you wait, the greater the preparation. And when the time comes, you won't have to scramble to catch up. You'll be ready to step into the victory. Now, for your breakthrough to truly be a lasting one, alignment is key. It's not enough to desire a miracle. You must be aligned with the principles that sustain it. Alignment means examining your life, your character, your motives, your actions, and your relationships. Are you living in obedience to God? Are you acting in integrity, kindness, and love? Breakthroughs come to those whose lives are aligned with heaven's will, who seek God's kingdom first, and who walk in His ways. Alignment prepares you to receive not just any miracle, but the right miracle, the one that fits perfectly into your life and aligns with your purpose. It's about positioning yourself for what God has planned and being ready to carry the weight of His blessing. Without alignment, the blessing can overwhelm you. But when you are positioned correctly, you receive it with grace and strength. In addition to trust, praise, and alignment, speaking victory is a non-negotiable. The words you speak shape your reality. When you declare victory, even in the midst of defeat, you position yourself in agreement with God's promises rather than the reality of the moment. Your words are weapons. They declare the future you believe in, not the present circumstances. The world may tell you to be cautious, to speak less, to doubt, but the leader speaks life, speaks truth, speaks victory. Even when you're facing opposition, when the odds are stacked against you, your words carry power. They bring your thoughts into alignment with God's truth. When you speak victory, you declare that God's power is greater than any obstacle in your path. Victory isn't just something you wait for, it's something you speak into existence, transforming your heart, your atmosphere, and your circumstance. And finally, when your breakthrough comes, be ready to receive it. Too many people hesitate when the blessing arrives because they are so used to waiting, to scarcity, to doubt. But God does not give half blessings. When He opens the door, step through it with confidence, knowing that you are ready. Don't shrink back or question whether you deserve it. Receive it with open hands because God has already prepared you for it. The breakthrough is yours, not because you earned it, but because God, in His perfect timing, deemed it your season. Don't resist what He has promised you. Step into it, walk boldly in it, and allow the miracle to take root in your life. This is the moment for which you've been preparing, and it is finally here. Receive it, and let it transform not only your life, but the lives of those around you.